Let's get this out the way. I'll let everybody shuffle on in here and then we can get this out the way. What's going on, 1977 Aerocoup? What's going on, NASDAQ? Yep. Everything's going good, 6'2". I'm doing good, man. I'm doing alright. You know what? I'm gonna say this, Donk. Yep, money not gonna make you win. Hey, shout out to Savvy. Go follow that man. Shout out to that man. Shout out to MD Productions. There's a lot of people out there that have heard me from day one. And there's hundreds of people that want to call me a hater. And I've said it before. I got the definition of what a hater is, and I got a definition of what I am. I'm not a hater. A hater is a person that wants to see another person fail and not give them any kind of positive criticism. A critic is someone who can sit there and criticize you, but give you a positive way to try to get out of your problem from their perspective. Right? You know what it is, dude? It's owner, not machine. It's owner. 150% it's the owner. Yeah. Yeah, I've hung out with Savvy personally. You know, I can say that when I build my car, I will race him, and we will be competitive. But at the end of it, we'll crack a beer and just chill, because we're about it. It's about racing. It's not about egos or who's this or who's that. He'll never put me down. I'll never put him down. We'll talk shit, but at the end of it, we'll talk shit. And we don't always agree on everything. And that's the way it needs to be. You don't have to agree with everything. And that's what it is. I am not here to say anything, but I'm here to set the record straight. Yeah, I mean, cutting a tree in a 60-foot slope, but it's all... It comes with time, you know? It comes with time. I've been racing a very long time, but at the end of it, it takes time. I think he's talking about Savvy. I don't think he's talking about Cad. Cad had a decent 60-foot this time. Car just didn't have enough, you know? So I'm going to be a critic. I'm going to be a critic, and I'm going to sit here and point out the things. We'll get it on paper. We'll get it on video, because I know he's going to watch it. Somebody's going to show it to him. They always do anyway. MD Productions knows. When I built the trans for his car, and I spoke with him, you know, I gave him some advice, gave him some criticism, how to make it better, what he should do, and he's doing what he has to do with it. You know, I don't sit there and talk down about anybody without offering a solution. I'm going to leave it alone. Hopefully this is a humbling moment. Donk Motor Planet got some really good footage. Donk Game Certified got some footage. Shout out to Paulie. A lot of people got footage, man. You know what it is? Harvey? You know what it is? Yeah, he has a racer's heart. You know what it is? I'll be really honest. You have to sometimes take a step back and see that things are bigger than you. It's not about you. You know, it's not about your desire. Sometimes it comes down to that you have to honestly take the advice of people that you generally might not want to. When you overlook people is when you undersell yourself. You know, when you sit there and think that a person doesn't have any value because they don't have the same amount of money as you, or they don't come from the same background as you, or they don't come from the same place that you come from, that's when you overlook things. A lot of the good lessons in this world, folks, you will learn from the strangest of people. You know? He doesn't need to see anybody. What he really needs to do, he needs to get himself right. See, Darren, he needs to take a step back and get himself right. He does need seat time, but he needs to get himself right. He needs to understand truly what it is he wants to do. I want to see him do good. You know? And he has to humble himself. He definitely has to step back and say, you know what? I got to work my way up. And he definitely needs to put whatever attitude that he's got aside and start taking advice from everybody that'll give it to him. And anybody that'll give it to him. At this point, it can't hurt. Yeah, you can't belittle people because, you know, that right there is the reason why I've been on him as much as I've been. That right there. What's going on, Jonathan? You know, I will never belittle a person. I'm approachable, I'm friendly, I'm the same person that I am a person as I am here. So I'll never claim that because a person has or doesn't have money. It doesn't really matter. It's about the people. Remember that. Money don't matter anything. It's about knowledge. The strangest of people will know the strangest of things. You know? There are just some people that have vast amounts of knowledge and no money. And they live poor as can be. And there are a lot of people that have a lot of money and have no idea, no sense. They got a lot of dollars, but they have no sense. You know? So, I think I can officially put this whole... Yeah, eventually he'll get it together. Eventually. Or he can fold and nobody would be mad at him for it either. You know? But at this point, I think that whole ship is done for me. I don't ever have to say another word about it. Did call it all the way back in freaking Orlando. And I've been saying it for a long time. I don't need to repeat it. Everybody knows what has to happen. The other Donk writers aren't all the same way as him. Don't put everybody in the same basket. A lot of people have their own issues and their own situations. You got a lot of cats that believe that because they have some fame that now all of a sudden, you know, they're bigger than life. Yeah, it's one thing that can happen though, KP, is you can keep betting against it. You can keep betting against it though. It has made you a lot of money. Remember, folks, don't ever bet against the streak. No, not knocking him in for trying. But do you have to understand, independent trucker, the definition of the word insanity? You know, the definition of the word insanity is to continue doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting something different to come out. You just can't keep going back out there and back out there and back out there and back out there, you know? You just can't. At this point, anybody, this goes for anybody, at this point for anybody, if you dare getting on the track to race anything from Hollywood's customs, this is the way you beat Hollywood. Number one, you need to have a solid plan. Number 2, the important part, stay off the gram. Don't let nobody know what the fuck you're doing. This doesn't help any. Seriously. Spend less time on the internet and more time under the hood, or in the car, or at the track. 3, make sure that you're confident that every pass that you make is your best. And then go out there and be ready to lose, because that way, if you're set up that you're prepared to fail, you're prepared to succeed. You know, if you're afraid to lose, you're not going to get anywhere. I said it back in Orlando. He needed to sit freaking 8 months, 6 to 8 months, take the car completely apart, figure what works, figure what didn't, and move the hell on. He definitely needs to leave pros tuning. He definitely needs to get himself with a crew of people that will not tell him what he wants to hear, that will not treat him like royalty, will not treat him like he's the king. He needs somebody to put him in a place and say, this is your role. We're going to do what we're going to do. You're going to do what you're going to do. This is your role. This is your place in all of this. This is our place in all of this. And that's it, you know? And then go from there. You need to be able... Do I think it's pros tuning? I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of a group of people that are unwilling to tell him the hard truth, and I think it's him unwilling to listen to the hard truth. And it's just two paths that aren't going in the right direction. I think that pros tuning is very capable of making a fast car, but I don't think they're able to make a fast car with him. Sometimes marriages just don't work. Believe me, I know. You know, some marriages just don't work. You guys could be the greatest on paper. And yeah, Mara did have that car on kill. The unfortunate side effect is that, you know, he did not have the same vision that they did, and he felt that making a change would be the best. In racing, folks, the more you change, the less you get faster. Going faster is a slow and steady process. It is. You know? Well, again, it's a combination of a lot of things, TM Yellow. It's a combination of a lot of things. I truly think that he needs to... Here. Because I have no other way of speaking to him. Cat, if you're listening, and you probably are, no ill will towards you. Have no reason to fight you. Have no reason to be angry towards you. You and I may have a disagreement. You and I may feel differently and have a difference of opinion. I respect 100% your desire to win. But you need to take a step back. It's not about you. It's about your car. Surround yourself with people that will not tell you what you want to hear. Surround yourself with a group of people that will tell you what you need to hear and will not be afraid to say it. Don't use your money to try to correct things, and don't use your money to try to get out of things. At the end of the day, racing is about here, and what you do with these. Not about how much you pull out of your wallet and how many times you swipe a credit card. You know, get that together. Sit down. Listen to whoever you listen to, whoever is your moral compass. Let them guide you. and make the moves you need to make, whatever moves they are. I don't ever want to see any person fail. Want to see people succeed, you know? And that's it. And if you still feel some type of way, if you're still feeling a little raw about it, you know how to find me. You know how to reach me. And we don't have to do anything on the internet. We don't have to involve families. We don't have to involve children. We don't have to involve people. We're two grown men. And if you want to talk, we can talk. But let what happened tonight be a lesson. You need to take a step back. You have to take a step back and reassess everything. That's my message. Can we ever see a Hollywood Customs versus 2Fly? Probably will at some point, but I don't think it's going to be pretty for Fly. You know? I'm going to ease up on him. After tonight, I'm done. After tonight, I'm done. Now, the one thing I will say about this, KP, is everybody's going to continue to ask me. So what do I do at that point? Not answer? Dodge the question? Because then that makes me seem like a hater. So it has to be tempered, you know? Everybody, not just me, has to actually buy into that whole thing and stop freaking piling on the man. Folks, understand, you know, taking losses ain't something that's freaking easy. I know, I've taken enough L's. Yeah, I'll try not to get drawn in. I'll definitely try not to get drawn in. Would I race easy money? Yeah, once my turbo's on my truck, of course, I'll race him. Truck's still not done, but once it gets done, I'll race him. I'd definitely race him. I'm going to have to do that, Mr. Will. It's going to have to be that way. I said my message already. I'm going to save this. Because I'm starting to see something. You know? I'm starting to see something. I can't co-sign on that, KP. I'm sorry, I can't. Want to see me race? I talk a lot. Yeah, I do. I've backed it up. See, what a lot of folks that call me a hater, and a lot of people that say that I talk a lot, you know, I don't have a car. Folks, you didn't see a lot of the racing that I did 2, 3, 4 years ago back in Vegas. A lot of y'all didn't see a lot of the stuff that I put together. Am I telling you that I'm the man with the plan? No, I am a man with a plan. There's different ways of doing it. Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, Whataburger, In-N-Out, all make hamburgers, but they're all different ways. Yeah, we race on the service roads. I've raced out here. My truck's got a pretty good winning record. Hell, my truck's freaking been... People have claimed my truck's running spray when it's all motor. You know? There's videos of it freaking doing roll racing, which to me is like... I don't get it. I don't understand roll racing. That makes no sense to me. But I mean, dude, I'm one of the few people that would race freaking anything in a freaking Suburban. You know? I'm one of those few people that would actually race a Suburban. I'd race Turbo Civics. I'd race freaking CTSVs. I'd race GTOs. I'd race freaking Camaros. Race freaking Mustangs. Stuff that I'm supposed to lose to, and I would beat half of them. And shake hands and line right back up and go again. You know why I think most of those people are starting to come around? Because it's very hard to accept what a person says, but when time starts to prove them right, it kind of makes you have to question why you're disliking what this person's saying. You know? Yeah, dude, I mean, I built a truck that used to race freaking donks out in freaking Vegas and beat them. Do I think CC's running tough? From when I saw him at freaking Orlando, his car looked good, but that was Bruce Doctor behind the wheel. I haven't seen it do anything else since, so who's to say? Heroes 37, the one thing you gotta understand is that the track is the great equalizer. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's just who's the most consistent. It's not who's the fastest. Everybody's concerned with who's the fastest, who's the best looking, what's the best car. You know, it's about who's the most consistent. And right now, Hollywood's got those cars consistent. See, what y'all don't understand is that Hollywood is one of those racers that's smart about what he did. He threw Macho out there to test a lot of the ideas that he had. Good platform, decent engine, had enough power, and now based on all that track time, I mean, Macho's got to have at least 30 passes in that car between September and now. At least 30, 35, you know, competitive passes, not just test passes, like actual lined up next to somebody. So now that he's got all that data, how hard is it to take that information and move it from Macho's car to Pocahontas? You know, how hard is it to take that information and move it into 250's car? You know, it's not hard. It's not a hard thing to do. The man's car isn't slow, no. The man's car isn't slow, but the man's car isn't what it should be. You know, you have to understand that, independent trucker. Speed doesn't mean everything. You have to have a good team and a good setup and be able to understand what you're doing. And be able to work together. It's a combination. It's a group effort. So speed isn't everything. Believe me, I know. It ain't always about the fastest car. It's always about the team that makes it work, you know? So far, do I have any recent races on YouTube? I could probably put a couple up. Big block on spray is the way to go. Then how? Again, this is the litmus test. Then how do you explain Macho? Because Macho's car is an LSA that's consistent. I mean, the thing is literally like you can set your time to it. 3 different drivers, 3 different cars. You know? So it's not that big block is the way to go. It's not that LS is better than big block. It's how you put your vehicle together as a whole. And that's what Hollywood has down pat right now. He's got that freaking locked. What's going on, L? L2 Fresh, KP, Ken Harrison. Even if it's a 408 or 414, it's still an LS with an LSA blower. Anybody that has ever put one together will tell you that the limits of the engine have nothing to do with what the limits of the blower are. A supercharger won't let you put out more than 1,100 horsepower. An LSA supercharger won't let you do more than that. 1,200 tops. That's on a lot of spray, and you basically trying to melt the motor down. Facts. What engine do I have? Something pretty decent. I have an LS in my truck. Don't worry, my truck's a turtle. April 6th is gonna be epic, dude. Because if Hollywood runs through everybody again, you're gonna be singing. Yeah, no problem, Gordo. I'll show it one day. Just not right now. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, you don't need a ton of power if you set it up right. You set it right there, Mr. Will. It's not about how much horsepower you have, it's how you have it set up. There are many cars out there that are 600-700. Yeah, same washing machine, man. I love this thing. There's a lot of cars out there that I've seen to do freaking work. There's a truck out here that I tuned. It's basically just a box stock 6-liter with a baby cam and a turbo. And he's doing 1060s. Through one of my transmissions, and I've tuned it on pump gas. Am I going April 6th? I don't think I'm going to make it. I was supposed to have picked up a turbo today, and then the guy freaking backed out on the deal. So it was one of those things. I was supposed to go out your way. I was supposed to take a drive out to Louisiana, pick it up, and the guy was like, I'm going to sell it, then I'm not. I'm going to sell it, I'm not. I'm going to sell it. And then finally he was just like, you know what? I'm tired of freaking playing this. So now I got to order my turbo, and it's going to be at least 3 weeks out. Because the turbo that I want is not something that you find on a shelf. Or at least this way I want it set up. You know, street racing, room racing, LS is better. All out drag racing, LS is a waste. Big U, yeah. I mean, if you're talking pro mods and stuff, you're talking 6-5-second cars. Obviously, you need cubic inches, dude. LSs are okay up to a limit. I think the ceiling for me on an LS is somewhere around 2,300 horsepower. You know? But that's just my opinion. I know that you could probably push more, but 2,300, and that's pretty much all you're going to get out of it. You know, bespoke freaking concreted, blocks with no water, running M1 methanol. You could probably get 3,000-4,000 horsepower out of Proline big blocks or Proline small blocks. So you know where you have to go. Again, everything has got its purpose. I honestly think the number to be competitive in big rim racing is 1,200. If you're able to consistently put 1,200 to the ground, you're going to be a force to reckon with. Just that simple. You don't need a lot. Hell, freaking 800, 1,000 makes you competitive. Like, really competitive. Like, you're going to win more races than you lose. But you have to be consistent. You have to be able to do that night in and night out. If you can do it night in and night out and go A to B on a clean pass, you'll be fine. What is my truck's purpose? It's a work truck. It takes me places. It's not a race car. But it's my business card. MD Productions came down, he saw me. I have zero problems putting any customer in my truck, take him for a drive. This is what I do. Behind the wheel. Here's the keys, drive it. It is not the fastest, it's not the slowest, but it will do it for as long as humanly possible. And it's a happy vehicle. I mean, I drove it from here to Orlando. Raced down the track at Orlando, ran 14 flat, came back. And this is when it was stock. What do you think it's going to do now? Exactly. And you know what's the funny thing, Marcus? I think you're honestly there right now. That pass that you did was probably close to it. If I have to venture a guess, I'd probably say you're like very low 13, high 12, that one pass. I'd say that's the number that you're at. And if I'm right, you'll tell me. You don't have to put it out here. So you're not far from your 12. You're not far at all. You probably picked up like a good half a second from the last time you raced it. And it was a nice clean run. You didn't even spool up the motor or anything on the trans brake. You just came in, bumped it, hit it, went. Get used to it. get a bump box, walk up to the line with some power, yeah, you'll pick up some time. Definitely will pick up some time. Yeah, 12 to 1400 horsepower should do it. Oh, you want 12 to 1400 horsepower? You'll get there all day. Yeah, turbos. Turbos will get you there. Built motor will get you there. But dude, you're probably fast. You've probably picked up like a good full second now. We were always talking about 12, 1400 horsepower. High 11s to the wheel ought to do it. On your car, high 11s to the wheel. All day. Why is 2 fly ducking? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I think if you asked him that question, he might say he's not. So you'd have to ask him. It's his car. Can't make the man race it. Personally, if you bet against Hollywood, you're taking a losing bet right now, this minute. Yeah, good, man. I'm glad it felt good to you, brother. Whenever you're ready to go do a little bit of track testing, let me know. I'll come out there, help you out. Get you a couple pointers, get you used to the trans brake and launching it. There's a couple little things that go into it that are different. But the chassis helps, trans helps, converter helps. All that helps. It's all a process, man. Keep moving forward. So, just wanted to say what I had to say, because I know everybody was expecting this freaking long-ass rant about me jumping off of freaking bridges. I've said what I had to say. The record speaks for itself. You want to call me a hater? Again, tell me something that I've said that is a lie. And on top of that, point out something that I've said without offering any kind of positive, constructive criticism. I'll wait. Because there isn't any. And it's not personal. There's nothing person to person. Just is what it is. At the end of the day, it's just racing. And sometimes, a race team and a race owner or a race driver, it just doesn't work. They need to go their separate ways. So, would I race Easy Money? Yes. Will I race April the 6th? I'm probably not going to be there, but I'm going to try my damnedest. I don't think I'm going to make it, though. And I definitely will be ready after May. I'm not going to wait much longer than that. I'll hawk half the planet to make it work. So, thank y'all for the support. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to pop on with a couple of videos next week. Some trans stuff, some other stuff, some Q&As. Y'all want to chop it up like normal? I'll have time. So, definitely let me know. We'll get together. Alright? I've been quiet on purpose. Be careful when you're quiet. Quiet ones are always the ones you need to fear. And I said one and threw up the peace sign. Peace, folks. Have a good night.